The X-Men have returned, and this time it's to face their biggest foe yet, and let you know if the results are worth your time and money in our spoiler-free review of X-Men Apocalypse. Superhero movies have been building up over the years, smashing, blasting, adding, retracting, rebooting, and beyond. And the X-Men franchise has had its finger in that pie since the very beginning. Director Bryan Singer is often overlooked when discussing the superhero genre, considering he helped kick the whole thing off in 2000 with the original X-Men. He gave us Hugh Jackman as Wolverine after all. But over the years, the X-Men franchise has been a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, with many a fan declaring, "Give the rights back to Marvel." When X-Men got a soft reboot in 2011 with First Class, it was a welcome return to form, and 2014's Days of Future Past saw the homecoming of director Bryan Singer to the franchise he helped spawn, resulting in what critics and audiences called one of the best in the franchise. As good as it was, though, Days of Future Past also retconned an incredible amount of story elements from the previous films in what has become a somewhat jumbled and slightly confusing timeline. This becomes readily apparent in the latest addition to the franchise, X-Men Apocalypse, wherein Singer wants to have his cake and eat it too. The result is a mishmash of sort of lead characters and sort of supporting characters moving through several loose plot points with a whole lot of camp, some mediocre CGI, and one giant been there, done that villain. The film kicks off with an opening sequence that feels right out of the Mummy franchise, depicting ancient Egypt and setting up the titular villain as the first ever mutant Apocalypse, played by a wildly over-the-top and unrecognizable Oscar Isaac. Though the actor is hidden under layers upon layers of prosthetics, makeup, and costuming, he's still a complete scene stealer, chewing scenery and spitting out campy speeches about revolution and power. While Isaac's performance is top-notch, the script isn't, and Apocalypse's whole "I'm gonna cleanse the world and make it my own" routine feels underwhelming at best, especially when the audience is acutely aware that the franchise has only been rebooted and fan-favorite characters have only just been introduced or reintroduced, so basically, the stakes are non-existent. Knowing this, the movie just becomes about the ride to the final showdown, which is still pretty darn fun and entertaining, even if it is scattered and unfocused. With Apocalypse's return to the mortal world, he's interested in gathering up his 4 horsemen to help execute his plans for world domination, which leads him to the tragic anti-hero Magneto, played for the 3rd time by Michael Fassbender. Once again, Fassbender brings the most emotional weight to his performance out of anyone and is given probably the most emotionally powerful scenes of the entire franchise. This eventually leads him to join Apocalypse's side, along with newcomers Alexandra Shipp as Storm and Ben Hardy as Archangel. Olivia Munn runs out the fearsome foursome as Psylocke, and well, let's just say she probably should have opted for that Deadpool role over this one. Other newcomers include Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, and Cody Smith-McPhee as teenage versions of Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler. All bring a fresh sense of wonder and excitement to their roles, which is a welcome addition to the ever-growing ensemble. Those of the old guard, including James McAvoy's Charles Xavier, Nicholas Holt's Beast, and Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique, flank these new X-Men, and like many superhero ensemble team-ups, you can feel the story become overcrowded and buckle from the weight of its many characters. X-Men Apocalypse doesn't quite know what it wants to be. Sometimes it wants to focus on Mystique's quest to free persecuted mutants, other times it wants to focus on Charles and Eric's strained relationship or on the newly introduced mutants, and sometimes it's about Apocalypse's quest for destruction. Occasionally, it's about all of these things meeting, but rarely about all of these things working as a cohesive story. The biggest failure of Apocalypse, though, is that it doesn't capitalize on the buildup of the previous films. The relationship between Magneto and Professor X has become a tired repetition of whether humans and mutants can live together, never evolving beyond the two looking scathingly at each other while begrudgingly working together. Additionally, Mystique's attempt to find her place in the world feels like it has more than run its course and wouldn't even be a subplot if not for Jennifer Lawrence's star power. There are redeeming factors, though. The new Quicksilver sequence steals the show yet again, even if it doesn't pack quite the same punch as the first, and it's nice to see him stick around this time. Additionally, Oscar Isaac's Apocalypse does a great job of showing the mutants what they are truly capable of, and excellently depicts how charisma and the power of speech can make a villain seem like a hero to those in need of one. And when the action gets going, it's entertaining, even if you already have an idea of the endgame. Ultimately, though, X-Men Apocalypse feels like a prequel to the movie fans actually want to see. A hybrid of good ideas and not-so-good execution, the movie winds up feeling like X-Men monotony, and for that, we have to give Apocalypse a middle-of-the-road 3 stars. Here's hoping when the next movie dives into the 90s, it takes a page out of the classic X-Men animated series. Now that you've seen what we thought of X-Men Apocalypse, are you still planning to see it when it arrives in theaters on May 27th? Be sure to let us know what all of your thoughts are in the comment section below, and then click right here to find out what other movies we're looking forward to seeing this summer. I'm Danielle Robay, R-O-B-A-Y on Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon with more spoiler-free reviews.